Hi, my name is Tayson Telford. I am 14 years old. I like to ride my dirt bike, work on the farm, do cows and things like that. My sugar beets were planted on the field that is north of the highway by my grandpa's house. They were planted on March 30th, and the seeds that were planted were Crystal A95 NT. The planter that was used to plant them was a John Deere Max Emerge. They didn't have to be replanted, and we sprayed them with Mustang Max and Roundup. So for my sugar beet project that I picked was sugar beet harvesters, and with those harvesters there's kind of a 5-step process that most sugar beet harvesters have. They have puller wheels, draper chains, grab rollers, a wheel or scrub, and a basket, tank, or boom. So how it works is there is the puller wheels that have kind of a V-shaped that pinch the beets when the beets are in the ground, and then they pull them up. And then above those, there's little paddles that paddle those into the draper chains. And then from the draper chains, they just kind of bounce the beets around, knock off a little bit of dirt. And then the the grab rollers, there's a roller, and one of them is smooth, and it spins one way. And then there's another one that has ribs on it, and that one spins the opposite direction, so that way it does a pulling motion to pull in all the leaves and vines and things like that. And that one is very critical, so that way you don't have to do any kind of extra expenses on trying to bring dirt or leaves and stuff back to the field after it gets took into wherever the beets need to go. And so after the grab rollers, there's a whole bunch of those that do that, and the beets just kind of bounce on top of those into the back of the machine, where there is your scrub or your wheel. How the scrub works, there is a chain belt that runs kind of up and around, and it has little plates on it that the beets fall onto, and then it carries those beets up and then dumps them into the basket or tank. And then on the wheel there is the same kind of thing. There's a giant wheel with the plates on it that carry the beets, and then there's another bar that holds those beets there, and then that bar stops, and then the beets drop down onto a little belt that dumps them into the tank or basket or just onto the boom. And then from the basket or tank, there underneath that there is the boom, and then from that the boom just kind of spins, and it takes those beets and it dumps them into the truck. So there is the 5-step process, and that is most sugar beet harvesters have that 5-step process because it is simple and it's worked really well for a long time. And here I have kind of 4 different kinds of beet digger harvesters. This one here is one of the newer models, and it has it is called a self-propelled beet harvester, and what that means is it just kind of propels itself and it just kind of drives itself while it still runs the same kind of beet harvester. And then this one over here has the scrub on the back, and then this one over here has a wheel like what we have. That's what we use. And then this one is an older version. It's called a lifter loader. It's one of the older ones. There's not very many of those that get used still. And on these, so all of these have that same 5-step process most of the time. And then with that 5-step process, it doesn't really matter the way that it is, like how the design is or things like that. Most of them all have this same process of how they get the beets to the truck. And then there's kind of two main sizes for beet harvesters. One of them is a 6-row, like what we have, and then there's 12 rows. The only difference between those is how many rows of beets they can pick up at one time. And then for my project skills, one of the things I wanted to learn was to drive a 10-wheeler truck and get loaded up by the beet harvester and then take it to like the beet dump. I drove a potato 10-wheeler, which is the same thing for us. And I did it in potatoes. So this year I want to try and do it in beets. And then I also want to learn how to prepare the harvesting machines for harvest in beets. I want to know how to like replace the old chains and put new ones on and kind of get everything and maintain it all while it's working. And that's my project.